Hello, I'm here with Przemysław Błaszczak from Studio Kokyu. So,
Hello.
Przemek, who are you and what is Studio Kokyu? If you could introduce yourself.
Mm, okay, about me, I'm working on the field of theater for last 30 years, and I'm also martial artist at the same time.
Mhm.
Since 6 years, running my own dojo, my own place of practice. I'm Aikido teacher. Mm, I'm saying about these two because in my practice, in my studio that I established over 10 years ago,
Mhm.
that is called Studio Kokyu, I'm bringing closer these two perspectives. So, since I'm coming from a genre of theater that is called physical theater, let's say, so it's asking for how we can be fully in the creative process with our physicality, with our body, with embodied voice and integrated mind. Mm. Uh, uh, in my martial art practice, I found many inspiring similarities,
Mhm.
which I believe are like fundamental for the actor's craft. So, yeah, establishing Studio Kokyu, I decided to bring these two perspectives closer and try to see mostly how the artists, the actors can take the benefit, how can learn from the knowledge collected over centuries in the martial arts. Because what is beautiful in traditional martial arts, that is like a codified message over the generations. It's shaped, it's developed through many generations in very strict conditions. So it's not like a concept of one person. It's something that travels through time. So very special kind of knowledge is hidden there. Yeah? Not only martial, but also about our human condition, our um, mentality, about how to deal with ourselves under the pressure in the most of the time not very comfortable circumstances, and how to confront ourselves in this challenging environment and provoke a progress, which was very there was a very basic reason for it, because practicing martial art was something to help you to survive. So it
Mhm.
was a tool for survival, a life protecting discipline. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is this kind of knowledge that it's very easy practically to check what
Mhm.
is working or not, because over the generations the let's say the techniques were developed in the way that the most efficient things were passed forward,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, sent forward. Yeah, for me, it's very interesting how we could take from this kind of a knowledge for the field that at least from the first view, let's say, work very much with the individuality, with personal perspective, which is art, personal feeling, something that is very hard to verify because it relies on our own opinion as an artist. We believe
Mhm.
each of us is the greatest. And sometimes this kind of a precision that is present in even in other arts, like playing the instrument, let's say, where the we hear if the tonality is right or not, if the technique is right or not. With acting, it's a little bit more tricky, so I'm seeking for this precision to help us to set the scaffold for
Okay.
the development.
Mhm. And as you're saying that, I was thinking that, surviving in difficult conditions is not only for actors. It's for
Of course.
everyone, right? For everyone life in life. Like I'm a coach or a facilitator, but also for leaders. And so what I wanted to share is I came to your summer school this year, Studio Kokyu, and one thing that I said to someone is like, um, the one thing that you cannot question, for example, it was your ability of Aikido. You were just much better than anyone, right, of your students, and you cannot question that. You can question some concepts. We can speak about concepts and ideas for hours and maybe years, but the physicality, how precise, how fast you were, that was something that you built authority straight away. Like there is no question about this,
Mm.
which is, I think, body really, the physicality of us and the body has this power that is non-questionable in some ways.
There is something that it's undisputable true.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm,
It's as simple as in the let's say world of animals is
mhm.
physical domination.
Yeah.
In the world where speculation is not the tool, if
Mhm.
we look for the dogs or the wild pigs or whatever, any animal, they building the structure. Most of the time, physical domination and other attributes, like for example, I'm sorry, in this time probably it's risky thesis, but for example, sexual uh, um, attraction,
Mhm.
yes, to
Yeah.
be to
Mhm.
be enough attractive to build your position. So something very basic,
Yeah.
very primal, to not say primitive.
Yeah.
Uh, and on top of it, we start to build more sophisticated structures, but these
Mhm.
ones are very physical.
Yeah.
And we know that many times someone entering the room brings a feeling of a sureness, of a position
Mhm.
that is hard to discuss. And this is most of the time something strongly embodied.
Mhm.
It's very rare that comes someone with very unsure body, and then it slowly appears his
Yeah.
let's say a mind power. Yeah,
Mhm.
most of the time these two things go together, even if the body is not trained, because it's
Yeah.
not about athletic body,
No.
but some kind of a feeling or
Mhm.
or 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 grounding in yourself that is projected outside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you actually, because you've been training so rigorously for so many years, body, voice, and breath, Aikido. So, what does the body reveals before anyone speaks? When you look at a person, whether those are your artists or like participants at workshop, what can you say? What does the body reveals?
Mm, I would rather
Y-
avoid quick judgments, but
Yeah,
what
yeah,
body says,
mhm,
but what body says is most of the time you can see or some kind of a readiness for confrontation,
mhm,
that some people have this kind of a body talk that they are sometimes you see strength. Sometimes you see this kind of energy that it's very similar to strength, but you see that there is fear behind.
mhm,
So something that is close to aggression, but comes from lack of self-confidence. So it's a strength of different kind. You know that this person can attack very easily, but probably
mhm,
you can make this fire go down very quickly as well. If you react uh, without hesitation, let's say that it's strength built on fear. Many times, especially in the situations where this structure of hierarchy is created, like teacher, students, course, whatever. Many times you see very strong shyness or anxiety in people, that they coming, they are curious, but they don't know if they, for example, good enough.
mhm.
This is this is something I observe strongly with people in the space between finishing the education and entering the professional world.
Hmm.
Because they write even about themselves, they are professionals, but then they know inside of them they are still students.
They don't own it, right?
Yes, and then you see it, and you see it in the position
Yeah.
of the pelvis, in the way they walk, in the in the position of the chest. There is many things like, but it's again, it's like I love dogs, and if you see few dogs walking around, you will see one which is very centered and he controls the whole situations, and the others that they make steps soft
Mhm.
and careful, and the spine is working differently because they don't want to provoke, yeah, or they would behave in the way to be liked by the leader, yeah. So we all have the same in the body.
Mhm.
Mm, and of course, it's very, if you have bad intentions, it's very easy to use it for a
Mhm.
manipulation, because people just, I mean, you see the weak points, yeah.
Mhm.
And if you have this ability to see the weak points, you have two choices: or to use the weak points to get your prize, let's say, to get what you want, or you to see the weak points and you start to be curious how to turn it into strength.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, depend what we want to do.
Mhm. Yeah, I just wanted also for people who are listening say something that it's the same. I see it. I mean, in coach in everyday life, we can see it in everyday life, right? But in coaching or leadership development, it really transfers the way you hold yourself, the way you hold your body. Like you say, you can see whether is someone really confident or someone is fighting for it, right?
Yeah,
Someone is so like up to the
tense
front, right?
about
You
it.
can tense, and it's in this balance. So it's very easy to actually push this person out of balance totally, right? And someone that is centered has a very different energy, and it's the same in coaching leadership. And like you say, like what I find really important, for example, working with people when they are in transformation, they want to understand themselves and change the patterns, is to have this ability as a coach, I don't know, facilitator, whoever, to spot that, to see when you say something here, when you are here, you're fully yourself. You're grounded, you're centered, like I trust you. But
Yes.
when you say something like that, I see the like it's not you. It's like this reactive pattern coming up. And just naming that for so people can actually start noticing that and change them. But I also see that in some ways it's very like a natural for us, and not everyone has it. Like we lost the touch with that. We kind of stopped believing our nature.
You know, that's my little private theory. Maybe it's completely wrong. Maybe it's just good to take it under consideration. If we think about few centuries back,
Mhm.
when we were, let's say, uh, under bigger pressure of the environment. So the direct physical battle was just something more everyday. Yeah? You had to, I don't know, fight the tree to cut it down to build a house, or to make wood for fire to not get frozen in the winter. You had to kill the animal in order to not die from food, because you couldn't go to shop and buy products. You needed to get a meat, vegetables from the ground that was resisting. So the physical confrontation was much more present in everyday life, and there was even no question about ethos of it. So this kind of a fight with the reality, that was the life. Let's say was the integral part of life. With development of technology, so using our brain, we started to develop like meta reality,
Mhm.
in which we could confront less and less physically. So we developed the tools to create the distance
Mhm.
from the physical confrontation. Like Like in the moment we understood we can have an axe, we didn't have to fight with tree with our bare hands. We had the tool, so it creates a distance and it improves our efficiency. But now we have a chainsaw or we have the huge machines that will do it for us. So the distance is even bigger. Yeah, this is how we start to understand. I don't know, to go to the shop and to buy piece of meat that we are
Mhm.
not buying a piece of life,
Yeah.
but we are buying a product. The distance is big enough that we start to live in some meta reality. What I'm saying, all of that, is not that the fight, the battle, uh, in that more cruel time, let's say, also the conflicts between people were solved much direct way because that was our reality. Yeah, I needed to fight this tree or this pig or this whatever, confront physically. So if there was a conflict between us, we would solve it physically, directly, yeah, through force. Then we developed, I'm not saying it's wrong. We developed another understanding, created a distance, and we understood we don't need a direct physical violence. Hopefully, we developed it. From my observation, we just put it on under the carpet.
Hmm.
So, from one side, we believe that physical confrontation is not important, that aggression is wrong, that this kind of a direct fight is something that makes us less human, and I would love to believe in it. From the other way, on our social life, in the closest environment, we still have the battle. That's why we go in tricks. We speak badly about our boss behind the back. We create the alliance in inside of the company. And this battle comes on very different level. And because there is no way, again, because it's very much in our heads,
Hmm.
it's more and more difficult to confront the reality. We don't know how much it's only in my head, how much it's in the collective mind, and how is it if we bring any
Hmm.
observer from outside to help us to say, guys, in fact, there is no conflict. You just have different narration because this need of stay in a battle is somewhere in our nature. So I think that is super, but it's only because I'm a martial artist.
Hmm.
For me, it's super important to understand these very basic fundamental tendencies that are in animal part of our self, to understand the way we deal with our relations, because the element of battle is there, and if you can't recognize it, it can be dangerous for you. You
Yeah.
even don't know you are in the battle.
Yeah.
And there is many people that they are sure that they are not able to be in the battle. So they take the position of victims.
Yeah.
Yes. So here start also the point with what we are coming to the room, because you have a fear because maybe at some level your body knows you're coming for some battle for your own life, for your
Hmm.
wealth.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you don't give yourself a right to be in this battle because
Yeah.
you don't have tools. And maybe at some intellectual level, you think it's wrong to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are dissociated from your body, so you don't even feel that you have a fire going on, you know.
Yeah,
And if you, this is how I think where I put a lot of kind of emphasis is to really feel your body in the moment and to notice, because like you said, the story, we don't know what's the reality. Is it, am I making this up? Is it true? And someone else listening to that story says like, there's no problem here. Actually, you are the problem. You are part of
yeah,
the problem, right? And so you are also the part of the solution. But first, we have to say, okay, I'm also the part of the problem. And that's what people don't want to know very often, as long they stay here. The moment you kind of drop down to your body, you cannot lie. Like you will feel there is a fire, there is a ice cold, there is a knot in my body, stomach, or whatever the feeling is in your body, and you hold your body somehow, right? You're making
yeah,
yourself small when you tell the story, or I don't know. You take the whole space, so that way we can say something is going on and people are not even aware, like you're saying, like the battle is inside. I think we spend so much energy in our life having the battle inside with ourselves without knowing it. And I see it so much more and more. People are so constantly tired and exhausted from things that they should not be. So I have one question that I think is very important in your work: the contact work, the pair work. So what does the, because I feel this is really important, right? So many people say if you want to build some embodied awareness, do yoga and so on. And I also say yes to that, but there you are always alone. But there is a different thing having someone working with you, whether it's Aikido or partner work, contact work, right? So what does this work kind of reveal or gives as opposite to the practicing solo?
Oh, that's a large topic.
So
Um,
the bottom
o-
line, like,
of course, I would say almost a side effect,
mhm,
really.
mhm,
And I'm speaking now as a theater director. A side effect is aesthetical outcomes that sometimes look very attractive
mhm,
because people can play together and it looks beautiful or it
yeah,
looks very catching attention, let's say.
mhm, yeah,
It's also interesting question why to observe two people in physical contact makes us very
mhm,
attached to it. Yeah? If we believe that theater works with empathy, so I'm in the performance only if I can empathize with the heroes, with the
mhm,
characters on the stage,
mhm,
then it makes me involved. Then why this kind of a physicality, physical contact, or even uh, some kind of an art that we can observe in circus makes us so amazed through some kind of an empathy and maybe understanding the I don't know, the desire to be like that, but we never tried or whatever. But this is really side effect. I don't want to
mhm,
say speak
yeah.
about that too much.
And from just Przemek, maybe I will direct you just from a part of the practitioners, what we are developing there, or what can we, explore about ourselves and our patterns. That's more the.
For me, the key is ability to listen.
Mm,
And if we work in safe, let's say, artistic environment, this listening it's more easy. In a way, it's also more difficult because we can fall into generally having pleasure of being together and
mhm,
it can become unclear. But with little bit of a practice, really the physical contact in the way that you had a chance to practice on the workshop, it can turn into developing a discussion with curiosity about what it's all about.
mhm,
Yeah, where it leads me, what this story, this unspoken story between us, what this story is, what it want to tell to us. It's an element of surprise also because we really listen. As soon as we start to propose too much, it becomes very
mhm,
flat or just boring. So this element of provocation or surprise, it's crucial to keep it exciting. And this is the element from martial arts. If you think about judo or aikido or jiu-jitsu or any close contact martial arts,
mhm,
is a huge ability about listening, where is your partner and how you can find the gap to bring the surprise.
mhm,
And of course, that's much more dangerous in a way that you need to know how to fall, how to receive this kind of a violent provocation. Yeah. So in the work that I'm doing in the pairs, in contact on the theater workshops, I'm trying to convince people that it's really exciting to find these gaps,
mhm,
to wake up our partner, to provoke this unpredictable discussion which we have directly in the martial arts, but in a theater we don't have to fear that we will get injured.
mhm,
Because in the martial arts it ends with pain always. So, but this stimulation, that's also a very interesting factor. And for me, I still don't know how to convince actors to go deeper there. Maybe I sound psychopathic right now, but the presence of pain, of physical pain in martial arts, makes you learn faster
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to suffer.
Yeah.
That's very basic. We're again stepping on some very fundamental, basic level. I don't want to have pain. So I will find this kind of the adaptation to the situation to avoid pain. And then you can recognize if your adaptation is to give up, to clap the mat, to finish, oh, it's too much, it hurts, or you will find a way to get out and change the situation so you are on top, so you are
Mm-hmm.
controlling it.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the way to avoid pain, but sometimes you have to stay in pain a little bit longer. Instead of giving up, survive and find a gap,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and take over. So this is something I still don't know how to translate, how to convince people that they don't want to suffer pain, but they don't, but most of the time they don't see that actually avoiding this physical pain make them suffer more in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
if you learn in physicality how to deal with it, then when you suffer the pain of being dominated, to in being in the situation that you don't want to be,
Mm-hmm.
being in a situation that it's oppressive for you, and then you give up, you escape, maybe you lose the job, you give up your position, you just go out because it hurts. Many times you do all these decisions that are against your progress instead of relax there and find a gap in order to change. But this is a big game, yeah?
Yeah.
It's here
If
inside
I
of our
if I
brain.
can comment on that, because I think this is very important for everyone, also like leaders, coaches. So there is two things. The learning, when we make mistakes, we learn faster. It's a neuroscience. So I studied a bit of neuroscience of change, and it's just good to make mistakes. So it's good to be hit by someone from time to time, like not in a brutal way, but next time right? It's just
Yes.
like you say, the brain adapts very quickly and the body. The pain, this reminds me, I did a Wim Hof winter expedition
Mhm.
in Poland also. In winter, we were walking in our underwear and swimming in in a small river in winter. And what was there? So what people are afraid of cold, but in reality, we are, what I learned? We are not afraid of cold. We are afraid of the emotions that come with it. And I
Mm.
wonder if it's the same here, if that's the emotions that what does it mean if I hurt somehow? We are avoiding emotions. And I see it translating to, I work with leaders, entrepreneurs, people who want to do something new, go new paths, and or in general, people in transformation. The challenge is that we try to avoid this pain sometimes, but the way is true. We have to go through that. We have to really feel it. People say they feel it, but they don't really feel it. The
Yeah.
moment you really feel it, like with your every cell of your body, something shifts in you. If you start feeling every emotion, like literally, there will be a shift. They don't stay in us. And I think that's what people don't really understand, that they are somehow on the surface. They suffer more from avoiding it rather than going through it. And for a moment, very hurtful maybe moment, and then kind of going out on the other side with something different. That's what I can kind of listening to you like this. What came up also to me from my experience.
It- yeah, I have this picture that I like to play with it that let's say of course there is different kind of pains also,
Mhm.
let's be
Yeah,
clear
exactly.
about that,
Not
yeah, but let's try to imagine that we are in a corridor where is many doors and you want to go and visit some rooms, you want to maybe you want to take something from there or meet someone there, but the doors are locked and you need to ring the bell, but the moment of ringing the bell it makes this very or the red light
Wow.
shines, or you hear this annoying sound that is very not pleasant. Yeah, it's something that makes you but if you will avoid this moment of ringing,
Mm-hmm.
none of the doors will open. So the pain most of the time it's like this alarm, this
Mm-hmm.
ringing bell that something is just opening, yeah, or something is unusual, or that you enter another space. Physically, we are constructed in the way that pain comes much before a real injury,
Mm-hmm.
apart of some moments that it comes straight ahead with something very bad, but then is a huge energy working on that. Yeah, if we do wrestling or any kind of techniques of immobilization, most of the time the moment that we are locked gives, especially if we are tense, the pain comes much earlier than our physical limits, much before something really wrong happened. Then it's working inside of this situation, then it's also to develop till when I can work with it, when it becomes dangerous and there is no sense to push it forward because it starts to work against me. Is there is a still exit from this situation or not? That's very interesting if we start to perceive this any kind of pain, mental or physical, as an alarming system of our body, which is not saying step back, which is saying just stay awakened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just watch out.
Yeah.
Something unusual is happening. You have to be alert. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And yeah, and many emotional pains are just a reminder we are going to touch old wounds. It's very often not what's happening in the moment.
Yes, we are programmed.
Yeah, so it's that the old wounds and I think that's the challenge. Many people don't realize that we act in our life based on what we learned and experienced long time ago and the strategies that we developed. And so what's happening right now is actually not what we perceive it's happening, especially if we only perceive it with the head. So.
And that's the blessing of working with the forms, because working with the forms can show you your patterns. So we'll show you how much you think you do the thing, but your body is not inside of the form. And
Mhm.
for some reasons, why you're not performing a right thing, and then you can gradually work on the change of physical habit. And that's a magic because working on physical habits will change your mental approach.
That's what I wanted to ask. How do you change the pattern? Like, what's the work here? In a,
Of
you would.
course, the first thing is some kind of a mindfulness or some awareness, let's say. But
Hmm.
I would say um, at at the beginning of the journey, you need a teacher.
Hmm.
At the beginning of the journey, you need external eye that will help you. Yeah. Mm, maybe it's a bit bitter, but I don't believe in developing this kind of ability to
Hmm.
be self-aware from reading books and from watching films.
Hmm.
That's important part of the process, but you need to have someone who will come, change position of your spine, shift
Hmm.
your pelvis, and will see you repeating things.
Hmm.
Because it's not enough to correct once, that you need to see if the person is able, through repeating, to understand what he's or she's doing. And that's another thing that sometimes we do our best to be correct and we still don't know what our body does.
Hmm. Yeah.
And at that part, we need someone who will constantly correct.
Hmm.
And in this part, it's also from my perspective, from a perspective of the teacher, it's very interesting moment because most of the people will tell you why they do something else than they should do. And that's the moment of a blessing, of a huge knowledge for this person to understand why
Hmm.
why. Why you
Yeah.
produce this? I just come to correct your feet because it's in the wrong position. And I don't need your story why you're doing it. You just put this leg in the right foot thing, in the right position. Yeah. All this story is your ego explaining why it's right to not be right. Yeah. And in this very basic commercial relation, you just paid me to correct your foot. And then you create this story of excuses why actually you are the special one, that you know why you do the wrong thing, you know.
Mhm.
That's very interesting because from here start the change. When you start to hear yourself speaking these stories, you will get the key. Ah,
Yeah.
okay, so this is my inner narrator that protect me from change.
Yeah. And I think other thing is, so I'm working in a different way of people, but people want to feel seen. And it's so interesting that, and I know it about myself. I know sometimes why on one leg I can squat deeply and other not, because I broke my leg skiing, right?
Ah, that's something else. That's
But
orthopedical history. Yeah.
no, but there is probably a bit of fear. Although I work with, I can ski again, and so there's no problem. But I see the difference, and so interestingly, this will have. I see how my body maybe will shake a bit more, or is not able. I saw it once I was jumping on the some I had to jump on some box, and when I had to land on one leg, it was quiet, and on the leg that was broken, it was louder. So it just show like this is because there is a stress in my body,
It's
and
trauma,
this stress, exactly, in this stress will impact how I show up in the
of course.
in the life also, not only jumping on the box in the gym, but in the life. And I'm telling now, so there will be another maybe things that happen to me, I don't know, someone else, and they have impact how we show up in the world.
But yes, this is exactly the pattern how our traumas that sometimes we even don't remember
Hmm.
make us behave, jump
Hmm.
in our let's say intellectual process
Exactly.
in an unsecure way. Yes,
Yes.
that I
Mhm.
will not say this to this guy because
Yeah. Hmm.
somewhere in depth of me there is this sometimes little child, sometimes teenager, sometimes an adult who was injured,
Hmm.
and now you
Exactly.
create the space that should protect. I will never enter again this same situation, yeah.
Yeah.
But it prevent us from the decisions.
Hmm.
It prevent us from stepping
Exactly.
into the space that we should take,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just to also like bring it to the close because we're at time, I want to honor your time, Przemek. So what would you tell to people that have never done any body-based work, this conscious body-based work? Um, what does it? So what? How would you kind of persuade them that this work matters beyond just physical training and beyond being on the stage as a performer?
You see, in the beginning of 20th century, Konstantin Stanislavski, a Russian
Mhm.
director, developed his system of working on physical actions in
Mhm.
theater, but he was putting a stress on the fact on the work that actor does on himself, not on the role, not on the score, on
Mhm.
himself.
Mhm.
So, in order to develop an artist, you have to first develop the human being.
Mhm.
And the physicality was a tool or the bridge or the way to develop the human being. So if you are aware of what your body does, you start to understand that you are your body. So
Mhm.
it's not anymore what your body does, but it's what I am doing.
Mhm.
So if I know what I am doing, I am in control of it,
Mhm.
so I can be playful with it.
Mhm.
Because first I need to know and then I can be playful. If I don't know what my body does in the space, I cannot be creative with it because I'm just bumping around without understanding, without using the full potential of this human instrument that we are for acting.
Mhm.
All the Asian traditional martial arts, if we think about Chinese, Japanese, Korean martial arts, all of them, they developed together deep spiritual practices.
Mhm.
Not because I believe, not because they wanted to pray through fight. It's just because they through cultivation of the body, they found that there is something much deeper that in order to develop your physicality and your, let's say, the warrior part, you have to develop something much more subtle inside. This is how, let's say, Zen and martial arts in Japan are melted together. We in traditional martial arts, we all do sitting in stillness. There is stillness practice in Kung Fu and in Qigong in China. The link between the meditation and martial arts in all these regions is just unbreakable. You can't go deep into martial arts if you don't develop this part. Why? Because you have to see yourself fully, and you have to provoke yourself not only through dynamic process, but also something that is maybe sometimes much more challenging, like meeting yourself in stillness and in silence, and then confronting with your talking brain, with your disturbing brain that produces another ideas uh, that you have to resist,
Mhm.
that you have to just observe. So you develop observer.
Mhm.
Uh, so all of these practices, if we think about Stanisławski, it is in yoga also. For
Mhm.
me, yoga lacks only one thing, is the relation to the other.
Mhm.
Uh, but it's for me. Maybe it's my individual
I
point
mean,
of view. In
as a
martial arts, we have this something. We have individual practice. It can be meditation. It can be, for example, work with forms with a sword. But then you have imagined partner, so you have intentions. But then you have also real partner, which gives you sense of time, timing, distance, strength, how much you can give to the partner, how much you are ready to receive. So also there is this element of calculation, let's say, in training. So all these elements are the tools to bring bigger awareness on what you do. And this is something that is priceless in life because if you can employ this observer, trained observer, from the stupid things, from making, rolling on the floor. I can develop my rolling only if this time I know I'm hitting my shoulder and then I need to rotate a bit more. I need to observe my body. And after 100 repetitions, probably my rolling will be a bit better because I'm also able to observe myself in this process when I lose control, because rolling is losing balance.
Mhm.
So I lose control and then I still can observe my body and I can let it organize in the way that it's safe in this unsafe situation. Yes. If we can develop this kind of observing in our life situation, it's just much easier. Maybe it doesn't make life more safe, but at least you avoid the effect when the situation take over on you and you are just,
Mhm.
falling down with the waterfall,
Mhm. Yeah.
that you become the waterfall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think what is, what's nowadays the big talk in leadership development is about how to lead in uncertain times, how to lead when everything changes, when you don't know when everything is going. And that's exactly, I think you just named the essence. It's not like you cannot change those circumstances, right? You feel endangered in some ways, but the point is to notice what makes you feel endangered and kind of work on that rather than managing the outside world because we cannot. So how to feel, how to not to be triggered by things that are happening around us, and rather find a kind of peace of mind. And from that place, you will know what to do. I think this is like really important.
And it's also relieving to know that you might choose wrong things,
Hmm. Yeah.
and even choosing wrong thing is not the end of the day.
Hmm.
It's sometimes you need to risk, but it will be just another place that you will have to
Okay.
deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah.
It's much worse if you take a series of decisions without observing the situations, because probably then it's just too late, yeah,
Hmm.
or you go too far. But if it's
Hmm.
just one step to check if we can go there, you still have a solution, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
You still see where you are, and that's normal, yeah. One of our teachers was saying, if you want to cut the muscle, you have to compromise your skin. If you want to cut the bone, you have to compromise your muscle. There is no way to be in the stressful situation, in a conflict, and that's Hollywood movie, that there is a one guy who fight 15 and then he comes out without the bruises. No, you're gonna be fucking bloody after that, but still alive. That's the price. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be damaging for you, but you're still alive. And this is the value that we protect. Yes, it's not that my skin will not be touched. It will be badly. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. If you are in a bad situation in your life, it's gonna hurt.
Hmm.
The question is if it's gonna stop your breathing, if you're gonna break you down.
Yeah.
If not, that's all fine. You're
Hmm.
gonna recover, you're gonna go stronger.
Yeah. And that's like the probably the scenario we are afraid of. That's in our life, we don't even come closer to those scenarios, not very often at least, that we really fight for life. It feels sometimes like we fight for life, but in reality, we avoid sometimes so many things, so many good things because we think it will be so
We are
bad.
afraid that it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But it's gonna hurt. And we are coming back to the topic of pain, yeah? And
Mhm.
it's not sadistic. It's just
No, no, it's
if you wanna have a good life, you have to learn how to deal with pain, because your parents will die, because your friends will
yeah,
betray you, because you're gonna lose things that you think you are. You're gonna lose your job, you're gonna lose your car. It all gonna hurt,
yeah.
but it shouldn't kill you.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Przemek, thank you for this amazing conversation. Like I have so many more questions, but I'm just aware of time. And how people can find you? Like, where is your next also summer school, maybe?
The closest summer school is in Brzezinka this August. We start
Hmm.
28th of August. We go till 8th September. Uh, till 10th of August is still possible to apply. We still have few spots. Normally, we work in the Grotowski Institute in Wrocław as one of the artistic projects, Studio Kokyu, and you can Google us both on the webpage of Grotowski Institute or just Googling studiokokyu.pl.
Hmm.
We have our own webpage. I'm running also Aikido Dojo here in the Grotowski Institute at Studio Nagrobli.
In Wrocław.
So it's just the place where you can come and train Aikido with us, with my actors too, but with people of different kind, with
Mhm.
people who just want to come and get a little bit sweat on the mat and find a sense in rolling on the tatami and a little bit throwing the bodies around. And that's very, very, very important, and that's the most beautiful in Aikido, that because we don't have competition, because we are not sport, is something that you can come, you can start to do. You will immediately get answer where you are with your body.
Mhm.
And if you like Aikido, you will stay. If you like or don't like the place where you are with your body, you will stay or not. Yeah. If you want to do something with it and this environment helps you, probably you will stay. If you will find that is something that makes you feel completely strange, probably you will know that you have to find other place. Yeah. But for me, a dojo, an Aikido is the most beautiful way to develop yourself toward your potential.
Mm,
But this sickness is in my mind since many years, so probably it's very individual perspective. Yeah. But I believe each of us is having this desire inside, uh, and it's just good to see what is this desire.
yeah. So thank you so much. I'm gonna put the links below here and
Thank you very
share
much.
people. And it was my pleasure, and I feel really inspired by everything you said.
My pleasure too. I hope we have a chance to meet more often.
Thank you.